I just got my shit together this morning because the truth of it is that most of the time when it comes to the organization at my company, I don't have my shit together. And this is a lot of landscapers. This is most landscape dudes, and I go to a lot of landscape guys' shops. I've worked with a lot of guys this past year. I've traveled around the country this year. Like, I see a lot of freaking landscapers, and most of everybody is not impressive, right? From the rig to the shop, to their checking account, to their QuickBooks, FreshBooks, Yard Books, whoever. It's just a clusterfuck. And I'm sorry to say it like that, but it just is. And here's why. The first thing is it's not your fault because you're in the landscape business or you're in the contracting business. There's a lot of variables. And there's a lot of things that are just really rough. Now, my shop is probably the roughest out of anyone's, but I'm also in a transition of like moving crap around. Here's the number one thing. Your shop and your trailer, your truck, your rig, your situation, it needs to be on point, right? Like yesterday, I couldn't find a freaking Phillips screwdriver. I spent like an hour doing a project that could have been done in 5 freaking minutes if I knew exactly where my shit was, and I just didn't know where my stuff was. This translates into your company finances. So I'm not going to go into shop organization, trailer organization, stuff like that. I'm going to go into financial organization. If your shop's a wreck, your rig's a wreck, your truck's a wreck, like mine is currently, because everything right now is just a cluster, you got to figure that out. But that is going to translate into your financial situation. So here's what I did, right? I've got things I've signed up for. Wistia. It's private video hosting for guys that have the course. You guys know about that game. I've got Gmail. I've got FreshBooks because that's what I use. I've got truck insurance payments. I've got Bobcat payments. I've got Dropbox, $10 a month for Dropbox. Well, check this crap out. Last night, Dropbox ran for a $10 transaction. There was insufficient funds in the account that it went out of. So it cost me a $35 charge. Well, there was another one, Wistia, for $25. That also cost me a $35 charge. So this got my attention this morning. Like, why is this such a cluster? I log into my accounts. I'm like, okay, I've got tons of operating capital on the top account, but nothing in the bottom account because I didn't transfer from where my credit card processor dumps all the money. I didn't transfer it into the different accounts, right? So last night I was working late. I didn't log in, transfer things. And so I'm like, what the hell? Because no one wants to log in at 10 o'clock at night or remember to do that because tomorrow is the 18th or the 16th or whatever day it is that you got things coming out of, right? So I'm like, okay, I know that this has been a problem for a long time. So I'm like, I'm going to fix this shit. I'm just going to do this. How am I going to fix this stuff? And here's what I came up with. Because I did my research like all day today. I canceled my entire day today. I said, screw it. I'm not doing crap today until I fix this crap. Screw it. I'll work Sunday. You know what I mean? I do it every Sunday. Screw it. I'm just going to get this thing fixed. And here's what I came up with. And I tried this last month and it failed on me. And it failed on me because of this reason. I thought I could do this with a credit card. So here's my thinking. I got a $1,000 monthly credit card. Could be a prepaid credit card. This one's not a prepaid. It's just a little $1,000 credit card. I've had it for years. I'll put all my transactions on that thing, you know, all my like Dropbox, Gmail, FreshBooks, all those little things. And then at the end of the month, I'll log in and I'll pay that credit card. Right? So if you're super organized and you're going to pay the balance every single month, that's a great idea. The real great idea is getting a SkyMiles card and doing it like that. That's if you have the discipline to pay that damn thing off and not pay a smaller payment than the entire balance. I don't want to leave myself up for any sort of temptation or any sort of, oh, you know what, it's only a couple of dollars in interest. I'll just put my funds, I'll buy this piece of equipment, and I'll make enough money on this piece of equipment this month where, you know, I do that crap. So I just do debit cards. For me, debit works great. Like, I like operating in cash. So what I did is I have a checking account with a debit card and a checkbook, and I'm using that solely for all of my monthly automatic transactions. Get yourself a checking account, fund it with 1 month of expenses, get everything on auto pay, and just use that checking account, for all of those expenses. And that's it. And then the next month you fund it again. And then you fund it again. Ideally you want to have like 2 months in there. And in my case, I'm going to do 2 months. It's going to take me a month to have 2 months, but I'm going to do 2 months, and then I'm going to do, and you know, my monthly expenses are $1,500. I'm going to be paying $17,500. So every single month, you know, I'm going to be increasing my runway. And then next year this time I'll have about a 6-month runway on my little expenses, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on my big expenses. In my case, it's not payroll. In my case, it's machines. So I'd like to have 6 months of runway on machines, and that'll give me leeway if I'm like, like the month of August. Like my goal this year is to not work in August. That's like my goal. Like I hate August and September, and like my goal for the last 10 years has been not to work in August and September. And this year, I'm tapping out of August and September. I'm not even going to try. I'm going to bust my ass until the end of July, and then August I'm going to be like, screw it. I'm going to the lake. Because where I'm from, it just rains all day long. You get stuck, machines break. You're making like no money. It's like, screw this. Why am I even trying? That's my goal this year. So last tip is reduce the amount of transactions coming out of that account. So in my case, I looked at that $10 Dropbox payment that pissed me off this morning, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like I just got nailed like $45 for Dropbox when it's really only a $10 expense because of my bank. Are you freaking serious? I just paid for Dropbox for the whole year. So I said, F it this morning. I just paid for it the whole year. Guess what? I'm going to save 20% over the course of the year. It's only $20, but it's 11 transactions I don't have to record. I don't have to record them anymore. Every single year, I'm just going to pay Dropbox, I'm going to pay FreshBooks, and I'm going to pay Google. Like my Gmails. Boom, boom, boom. Just boom. And they're gone. So right now I'm paid for Google, paid for FreshBooks, paid for Dropbox for the year, paid for Wistia for the year. Don't have to worry about it, and I'm saving 20% on it. So anyway, checking account, automatic withdrawal payments, funding that checking account prior to the month starting, trying to increase the amount in that checking account so you can divide it out and figure out what your runway is. And ideally in small business, you're looking for like a 3 to 6 month runway.